Hello there. I'm here to talk about something that nobody really questions about the game, but I did. I'm here to talk about the game systems, such as resin and primogems. Now, any normal person will probably see these and think, oh, that's just the payment system of the game. It's a free to play game. Don't worry about it. But there is something weird about it. I think resin just has too much impact on the game world itself. We use resin in domains and ley lines all the time. It honestly doesn't feel like resin is something that it's just a game system, you know? And we literally get primogems from Catherine all the time. There's definitely something off about it. So after some thinking, I think I came up with a theory that might explain why these two systems just have such an important impact on the world. Now let me make this clear. I didn't actually do any deep research into this. I don't know if it was ever mentioned in the game itself or what these two things do. These are completely just my own speculations. First, let's start with resin. As we all know, resin is the stamina system of the game, and we use it to get our artifacts, mora, and XP books from the ley lines. And I can't think of any other use it has, but that's the main thing I'm gonna focus on. Ley lines. As we know, mainly from A's Part 2 story quest, ley lines contain the memories of the world. Because of this, I did start thinking that everything we get from the ley lines and the petrified Irminsul trees in domains are probably just memories of the past. Like, those are not actual things, those are just memories. Now comes for the big part. Why is it that resin can revitalize these trees as well as ley lines? But before that, there's another question that has to be answered. Where did the artifacts come from? Personally, I've never seen anyone actually make artifacts in the game. Even the blacksmith themselves only make weapons, right? And when it comes to selling artifacts, we only ever see 1-star, 2-star artifacts being sold. And if you remember that 5-star noblesse flower in the Liu dungeon where you had to do the 12 obelisk things, you know, that was very heavily guarded for something that's pretty bad. Obviously, 5-star artifacts are very important in the game itself, to the point where they store them away and don't use them. Another thing is that during the War of the Chasm, that's probably like the biggest war they have to fight. Very important. But all of them are only using 4-star artifacts, as shown in that grave side quest. And because of this, another question pops up. Where did they get their artifacts from? So that leads me to this. I think resin is a system that all vision holders actually have, like a passive system that builds up within the vision itself. Which is why normal NPCs have like a lot of normal 4-star artifacts because they went and farmed them. But they don't have 5-star artifacts because it's too hard for them. But that does not explain where the artifacts come from. As you all know, artifacts all have their own stories behind them, telling about the canonical characters that used to use them. Because of this, my first thoughts were the 5-star artifacts are special artifacts made by powerful figures, or no, rich people. But that came crashing down because apparently retracing Bolide is the canonical set for Yoimiya. Kinda doubtful that a firework maker with a deaf father is rich enough to make 5-star artifacts. For now, I don't really have an answer as to where 5-star artifacts come from. But that's not the point of the video anyways. I gave my answer. I think resin is a system that passively builds within visions of vision holders. As to why this system exists, well, I had a theory that would explain this, but I don't know. It sounds kind of stupid. I think I'll make a video on it, but let's see. Let's see what happens. All you need to know is that I had theorized that maybe Celestial gave visions in order to make people overconfident in their abilities so that they would do stupid stuff and die. Yeah, yeah, kind of dark, but it's a video. It's a video. Don't worry about it. Now the second thing is primogems. What the heck are they? The official description of primogems state that it's a primordial crystalline gem that's beyond the mundane world, shines with the condensed hopes and dreams of universes that once were. Sounds cool, I guess. Still, it's kinda odd that we get these gems whenever we finish a daily commission, finish a quest line, and just doing random stuff. As of right now, primogems just kind of form out of nowhere whenever we finish a quest line. So it it feels like a reward system for a game because it is. As for the uses of primogems, the main use is of course for wishing. I won't discuss that yet, but the other use that people probably don't really think about is we can use it to buy resin. Yeah, resin. And which I had just theorized is probably a system that builds within a vision. It's because of this I think primogems are actual like physical entities that people actually give. As for their use, I think the main use of primogems within the game itself is to replenish resin. As for where primogems came from, I really cannot say. There's nothing about it. This is just speculations. I can't even call it a theory because there's nothing to theorize about. But there is one thing I can point to in order to guess where primogems came from. This is mainly for veteran players, but I want to point to the Unreconciled Stars event. The event that was our first introduction to Scaramouche. The main premise of that event was that a constellation was falling from the sky, and its strong will was forcing people into a deep slumber, putting them in the owner of the constellation's dream. That owner's name was Leonard, and he was an adventurer that wanted to climb a mountain. It was also the origin story of the gliders. It is because of this event that I believe primogems are literally hopes and dreams that fell from the sky, just weaker than the ones we met in the Unreconciled Stars event. The entire thing about Mona and astrology within Genshin Impact is that the stars contain knowledge of the people's lives, both past and future. It is possible that they also contain the wishes of the people, and well, I can't really explain it, but I guess some of them fall down to earth. Since they kinda contain powers or memories and whatnot, I'm gonna say they just kinda work alongside resin. Yeah, it's a stretch, but this entire video is a stretch. What were you expecting? Now, I did say I was gonna come back to this. How does wishing connect into the lore of the game, or at least the lore that I'm making for the game? I think this connects to the secret power of the traveler that we don't know about. Now, let me point something out then. What do we get from wishing? The main things are weapons and characters. And canonically, within any story quests that we are in, the traveler himself is actually fighting, but we actually use other characters in order to fight for us. Hence the gacha element of the game. Because of the connections between memories that primogems and resin have, I have a suspicion that The traveler has found a way to utilize primogems in order to access past memories in order to boost his own strength. Now, of course, I'm not saying he has access to other people's memories. I'm saying he has access to his own memories, which is why that we only get characters that we actually understand and know. For example, we have met Nahida for a while now, but we have not gotten her for wishing yet. We will only get her in a wishing banner when her story quest actually comes out, which is when we actually understand her, we know her. We also understand how her power works. Of course, this does not apply to the early days of Genshin Impact, where Liu was not released yet, but we had access to Kaching and Chi Chi. It was the early days. I'm gonna excuse that. We can make changes to the storyline while we move on, okay? I think this can also apply to the 5-star weapons, since we often see the 5-star characters wielding their signature weapons. And yes, this also applies to the Wolf's Gravestone. Even though no one actually uses it, we actually see the Wolf's Gravestone at Boreas's challenge area. So yeah, I think that's it. So conclusion is, resin is a system that passively builds within the visions of vision holders, and it is created by Celestia for means that I will not delve into yet. And primogems are wishes from other peoples that fell from the sky, and people actually can use them. Yeah, yeah, that's it, I guess. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my little speculations. It really isn't it really isn't a theory. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Comment down below what you think. Bye, I guess.